Hello, this is Jaime Nakach from Luminari, and welcome to the second episode of Marketing Fridays. Today is January the 13th, 2017, and today I'm going to be talking to you about 15 different categories that are related to automating different parts of your business. Yes, as I said, we're going to be focused on marketing automation on most of these episodes, but I definitely want you to get an idea of what different things you can do and automate many things within your business that are going to help you save again a lot of time and hopefully also a lot of money. I'm all about trying to make my day more efficient and finding amazing tools that will help me work better. And I know that a lot of small businesses have the exact same challenges and want to do the exact same things. So now let me switch to my screen and let me show you 15 different categories of how you can automate or make things that are going to help you work faster. All right? Thank you. All right, let's get started. Here's going to be the list of the 15 things that I put together that I believe that you can automate to help save a lot of time on your day-to-day tasks. All right, so here's the list, and we're going to go one by one. The first one is accounting, bills, and receipts. There's a lot of things that you can do to automate the process of keeping record of the different things that you do that are related to your accounting. So here I have a list of all the different things that you can do. In this case, here we have the example of QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks is the main software that our company uses to manage all of our invoices and everything related to basically all the money related things. In this case, I'm showing you Zapier. Zapier is the app that I showed you before on the first episode that lets you link multiple software together. So in this case, I just chose QuickBooks, and here it'll automatically show me what are the most popular different connections that you can do to automate certain things. So for example, the first one says, add a new Stripe charge to QuickBooks. Stripe is an actual different software that lets you process credit cards. And here it says that every time that there's a charge, you can actually report it as a sales receipt. That's something that you can automate. You can do the same, for example, with QuickBooks and FreshBooks, so that every time that there's a new FreshBook invoices, which in this case it would be automating between two different accounting software, every time there's a FreshBook invoice, you can actually have that copied into a QuickBooks invoice. And that's just another example of what you can do. Now let's go back to this. The second is files management and sharing. This might not be thought of as something that you can automate, but it is in fact something that you can automate. So in this case, we're going to talk about specifically Dropbox. I'm guessing most of you are already familiar with Dropbox. Dropbox is great because it's really an amazing way to easily share documents between many different people. In this case here, you're looking at my homepage where you can see all of my main folders, but I specifically created a folder called shared folders. Within shared folders, I have a folder called business, and here you can see all the different folders that I have with different people within our company that we share different folders with. And it's a really great way to share files. Why is this automation? Well, simply because you can actually have Dropbox installed on your computer as well as on your phone or in multiple computers, and then you can access all of your files automatically from every other computer where you have Dropbox installed. So it's basically automating the synchronization of all your files, and that's why it's automating. Now let's go to the third one, project management. All right. Project management is all about managing a project, in this case through, of course, digital software. And I'm going to show to you some examples of what you can do. In our case, we use a program called Active Collab, but another popular one is called Trello. And this is what I'm showing you here on this screen. I went back to Zapier and I chose Trello. And then again, here there's popular zaps, and each zap basically means a synchronization, or more like sending information from one place to the other. And let me talk about this example. The second example here, it says to create a Trello card, and a card simply means a task for a specific project. Here it says every time that there's a new row or new information saved on a Google Sheet, which is in like Excel, every time somebody updates a Google Sheet spreadsheet, a new Trello card can be created. So let's say that somebody in your company is managing something in Excel, and every time there's a new information saved into there, you want to assign that, let's say, task, in this case, if every row represents a task, into Trello. And then on Trello, you can have multiple people look at that, and multiple other things can be later done through Trello. Another example which might not be as useful could be, for example, creating a new Trello card And again, a Trello card is a task for every time that there's a new email on Gmail. Okay, that might not be very helpful, but that's just an idea here. Something else that would be helpful is every time that there's a new note on Evernote, which is a separate software for saving notes, you could also create a note or a card in this case automatically on Trello. And that's just a few examples of what you can do. You can also create new Trello cards based on a Google Calendar event. And of course, the actual list is really endless. There's a lot of things that you can do for automating different things within your project management systems. And of course, it's not just with Trello. In this case, we can see that Zapier has a lot of different project management systems that actually are working with Zapier that you can automate within many other stuff. Again, Trello was one that we were using before. That's why we were talking about it in the past. But Active Collab, which is this one over here, is actually the one we use now. All right, moving on to the fourth. Here we're talking about internal communication. So, most of you are, of course, very well known that email is still very popular and all of us use email every day to communicate. But how could you actually automate the process of sending messages faster and helping you automate the fact that you want to not have to go to your email and actually go and type in somebody's name and a second person's name to create an email thread? So one of the very popular apps these days is called Slack. And Slack is actually a program that is thought about like an internal business chat system. And it looks sort of like Instant Messenger or Facebook Messenger, where you can have actually a whole team there. In this case, I'm actually not showing you Slack, I'm showing you Telegram. Telegram is not exactly Slack, it is more like WhatsApp, and it has a web interface right here through web.telegram.org. In this case, for various reasons, we chose to leave Slack and start working with Telegram. And actually, you can see here that I have all the different conversations with my different teammates, as well as actually a group message. For example, in this case right here, the Luminary team, you can see all the different people that are working with us, so that every time I want to send a message to them, I'm saving time, and instead of having to type in an email for multiple people to get it, I simply type in a message here and everybody receives it. And then, of course, I can also create specific groups or what are called channels on Slack for different people. For example, this one's called the Luminary James Izik group. And in this case, we have 3 different people that are part of this channel or this group. So this is really helping me, in this case, save time and maybe not exactly automate my life, but it's helping me not having to type people's name. So that's another way to do some automation. And now talking about email marketing as the 5th item here on the list. Email marketing is the most probably popular thing when it comes to marketing automation, but there's many different things about email marketing. In this brief case, I'm going to talk to you about Agile CRM's email marketing campaigns, and I also showed this to you briefly on the last episode. If we go here to the CRM, which is a customer relationship management system, and we come here into campaigns, we can define very complex trigger-based campaigns. And the last one that I showed you last time was a process that we created for requesting our clients to review us on Google Maps in this case. So here you can create a whole process of different steps that sends automatic emails. It waits a few days and then sends an automatic email after if it checks whether or not somebody clicked it or not clicked it. And you can check also if the email was opened or not opened. And based on these various variables, you can decide how you want to send emails. This is what would be called something that is not a linear set of email messages. And by linear, I mean that one email gets sent one after the other. For that, you would have to think something like an automatic email drip campaign, such as what you can do with MailChimp or through Constant Contact or through many of these other software where everybody's going to get the exact same message disregarding whether they opened the email or clicked on it or not. All right, but here I'm showing you the more complex way of creating an email automated campaign. The moment that something triggers this campaign, then the user will go through this email automation flow. All right, that's one thing to do with email. The other thing that is not exactly automation, but definitely saving you time, is the fact that you can create email templates through your CRM or through a plugin for Gmail, for example. you can pre-create all the different templates that you want, and then you're actually able to simply insert here, for example, hello, first name, and it'll automatically show the first name of that person who's the person who you're trying to contact. There you go. In this case, this one is in Spanish actually, so you might not understand over here, but actually here, let's click on a different one. Here, this was a quick proposal about how we would do a specific marketing thing. So, I pre-write the email, I actually also create an attachment, and I save the email template. Then if I wanted to send it and save some time, instead of having to write it, I can click into anybody's contact, I click into their email, and then I can actually simply select what email I want to send from this drop down, which is obviously amazing. So you just click on it, then you can actually type whatever else you want to type, and then you can simply send it. So that's another way to use email marketing as part of automating some of your processes. Of course, in this case, I'm not going to send it. Now, let's talk about sales follow-ups, being the sixth item here on the list. Some of the things that you can automate for your sales follow-ups is actually what I just talked about. Sending emails and pre-creating those with templates. So, in this case, I chose to create this email and then send it manually, but there's also ways where you can say, hey, you know what, I don't want to send the email to that person right now. I want to send it 7 days from now or tomorrow. So that's something that you can also automate, and that's probably something we can do with Zapier. So in this case, I'm not going to show you how to do that because it'll take a little longer. But there's a lot of things you can do to automate the sales follow-up. And again, follow-ups, we're talking here specifically about following up with people, in this case through email. But you can actually also follow up with people through an SMS or through a phone call that your CRM system can automatically create for you and let the salesperson know that a call is going to be automatically calling some contact at some defined time. So that's something else you can do. Now on to step number 7 for social media. So when it comes here to social media, there's literally like lots of different apps that you can use to automate your social media. And by automating, we really mean actually scheduling or pre-scheduling your social media posts and then adding them to the queue or to the schedule so that they can be sent later. So let's say that I wanted to tweet, Happy Friday. So Happy Friday, hope you'll enjoy our second episode of Marketing Fridays. Check it out soon. Okay, and then I'm going to add it to the queue. And that's it. Now it's added to the queue. In this case, Buffer has a very specific schedule that I chose of when it's going to actually be sending all my different scheduled posts. In this case, it's either at 9:12 in the morning, at 1:47 p.m., or blah, blah, blah. Some other times. So in this case, we can see that the next one is going to come out at 9:29 p.m. based on that schedule. So this is one example of automating social media. We were using Sendable for a long time, and then there's also Hootsuite, which is the most popular one, but there's many others that you can actually choose from. So there's again something that you can automate. That was number 7. Now going on to talking about proposals. So we just switched a couple months ago into a totally web-based platform that lets us create proposals kind of on the fly. Or, not exactly automatically because we pre-created them, but let me show you how that looks. Okay, so this is actually Poposify, the software that we use for creating different templates. And then we use those templates to create new proposals. So I'm actually just going to show you, in this case, this proposal that I just created so that you can see how it looks. So you have basically the interface of PowerPoint where you can go through the different slides, or you can, of course, go and create them like pages as opposed to slides. And then here you can actually come in here and customize the different numbers that you want. And then, within a few minutes, you'll be able to send a proposal. Then you click send, and it's like super quick. The cool thing about this too is that you can actually look at how much time people spent looking at the proposal. So here I'm showing you a proposal from 76 days ago from a client live residential, and I can see how much time they spent on each slide or page and how many times they visited each one. Okay, and they totally spent, they spent a total of 17 minutes looking through that. So again, Proposify is something that's going to let you automate your proposals process. Now let's talk about blogging. So when it comes to blogging, you can actually also schedule all of your different posts so that automatically whenever the date hits that you scheduled a post for, it'll automatically get published. In this case, I'm going to show you the backend of our website called Joomla, and I'm going to show you the K2 place where is actually the place where we get to schedule all of our posts. As you can see, most of them have a little check mark. That means they've been published. But we have this one called 10 Things to Consider When Choosing a Marketing Agency. And you can see that we have this set for the 21st of January for it to publish at the 23 hours, 11:50 at night. And you can see in this case it's published, but it's actually pending. Why? Because right now it's actually January 13, so it's not January 21st. But when that date comes, then it's going to be automatically published on our website. And again, that's another way to just save some time, in this case, in terms of blogging. And you can do this in also WordPress if you know how to do that too, but that's something you can also do. Now let's talk about contacts management. So contacts management is all about automating the process of finding information about your contacts, synchronizing contacts from different software that you use. In this case, we actually automate and synchronize our information from Gmail into our CRM. So I'm going to show you here just the backend of how that looks. So we go here to Preferences. This is our CRM again. I click here on Data Sync, and I'm actually synchronizing once a day all my Google contacts, both ways. That means if I change anything on the CRM, it'll automatically change on my Google contacts, and the other way around. If I create new contacts on Gmail, they'll also come into my software, and that's a great way to manage my contacts. And I can do the same with my phone. If you have an Android phone, every new contact that you save into your Android phone will come into your Google or Gmail contacts, and thus, in this case, because I have this set up, they will also come to Agile CRM. Again, this is just an intro, so I'm not going to go in depth into any of these yet. Then about scheduling meetings, you can also automate the process of people scheduling meetings with you so that you don't have to waste too much time trying to figure out how or when to meet with people. Okay, so in this case, this is a link that I have at the bottom of every email I have on my email signature so that people, when they want to book an appointment with me, I just tell them, click on that link and you can choose, for how long you want to speak with me. You can choose which day and it'll show you whether I'm available or not. And all of this is directly linked to my Google Calendar. So this software is very smart. It knows to check my calendar first to make sure that I have time to meet with people, and if not, it doesn't let them. So then you can choose a time, you can tell me who you are, and it'll automatically send me an invitation as well as an invitation to you if you wanted to book an appointment with me. All right? Now, to number 12, browser activities. That's another thing that you can automate. You can automate pre-filling forms when you're online, as well as pre-filling passwords. So for that purpose, we actually have the use of LastPassword as an example that lets you basically save all of your passwords and easily log into many different websites without you having to remember all your passwords all the time. That's one way to automate that process. And when it comes to filling out forms, you can actually use Google Chrome's autofill settings for forms, and you can create a whole set of addresses as well as credit cards if you wanted to. And so here I'm actually going to show you this one. Here you can choose the entire organization, address, city, state, zip code, phone number, and everything that you want. And it'll make it very easy for you to start filling out a form and then fill it with the entire information very quickly. So that's something that you can save time on based on things that you can do on the browser. Now, another thing you can do is actually back up your computer automatically, which of course for this day in 2017 that should be something kind of a little obvious. We are using the software here called Backblaze, and we love this one because it actually costs only $50 a year, and that's kind of the same price as almost every other software. But the amazing thing about this is that it lets me back up not only my internal hard drive, which is the one inside the computer, but I can also connect as many external drives as I want, and it'll also back them up. So that's amazing. Check them out, Backblaze. Now let's talk about customer support. So there's a lot of things that people can do in their internal business to automate the process of support. Probably you're already familiar with some of them, through software like Zendesk. It lets you create an email so that every time you send an email, it'll create a ticket, a support ticket, and then multiple people on your team can access the backend administrative part of this software, in this case Zendesk, and lets you reply to the email, and thus you're creating a whole ticket system for tech support or for customer support, which saves you a lot of time. You can also create a chat, and after somebody chats with you, you can also automatically create a ticket in case something wasn't answered, so that later your team on support, that's not the chat staff, can actually take a look at it in deep, um, in deeper aspects of whatever the customer is looking to do that maybe the chat person didn't know. So that's another thing you can do to automate the customer support through Zendesk for creating tickets. And finally, we're going to talk about inventory management. That's something else you can automate, and in this case, it's through the use of most likely a shopping cart software. Here I have the BigCommerce support website up, showing you how you can set up inventory tracking, inventory control, that you can change by product or by product option. You can basically keep track of your entire stock automatically. What does that mean? Now, let's say you have 100 t-shirts and then you sold 5. Now you have 95 left. So the software automatically knows you sold 5, and now it knows that the actual stock is 95 instead of 100. And if you always make all of your orders go through the actual shopping cart, including the phone orders, then you'll have an actual real tracking of your inventory through the shopping cart. So that's the way that you can automate the inventory tracking. So that's kind of it. I really hope that you've enjoyed my presentation, and hope to see you here for the next Marketing Friday. And again, my name is Jaime Nakach from Luminari. Thanks a lot and good night. Bye-bye.